Hey guys, Wet Movie 1 back here again for another Blu-ray DVD update video for you guys today. But also, bam, I got some stuff from Amazon in the last day or so, which I'm going to unbox for you guys at the end of this bad boy. Got some movie goodness in here, so we're going to find out what this is at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Guys, I have a big old stack of goodness here to talk to you guys about today. Over 22 DVDs and Blu-rays in this one for you. So give this video a thumbs up if you guys like my videos. And also drop a comment down below and let me know what you guys think of some of the stuff I'm going to be talking to you guys about today. So guys, let's get on to the first one here from Scream Factory. This one right here, the first one, is a film I have never seen before until I got this Blu-ray. It's a horror film that came out in the late 80s and it's called Scarecrows here on Blu-ray. It's pretty much about these military missionaries that somehow steal $3 million and hijack this plane and kidnap the pilot and his daughter and try to get away with the money. And as they're on this plane trying to get away with the money, one of the missionaries decides to try to take all the money himself and then jumps out the plane and leaves everyone else high and dry. And as the guy lands on Earth, there's the people on the plane trying to figure out how they're going to get this guy in there and try to get their cut of the money without him getting away and things. So they're trying to land the plane and trying to get this other guy that's trying to get away with the money. But where he landed, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's just, there's this one house that's surrounded by scarecrows and fields and stuff in the middle of nowhere. When they get down there, these missionaries, they try to find this one guy that has the money, but they don't know that these scarecrows are alive and they're going to be getting taken out one by one as they're trying to get their money. But that's pretty much a synopsis on this one. I'm not going to lie to you, I thought it could have been better than it was. You know what I mean? Some of the special effects were the gore effects were really kind of cool, but the story just seemed kind of blah. You know what I mean? Because there just wasn't a whole lot going on. It's just all it is other guys trying to find this other guy that has their money and them getting picked off one by one in the middle of nowhere. That's all it really was. But it did look pretty good here on Blu-ray. And on the Blu-ray here, you get a new audio commentary track, some interviews with the cast and crew, a theatrical trailer, and all the goodies that Scream Factory provides for you on this one. But that's Scarecrows here on Blu-ray. It looks amazing, but for some reason I just wasn't really impressed by it. You know what I mean? Like I said, the gore was cool, but just the movie itself, I couldn't get into it as much as some other ones that Scream Factory puts out, like this one right here, which I've always really liked, and it's called Stigmata here on Blu-ray, starring Patricia Arquette, who you guys all know from Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and she's just always really kind of cool. I think she's in the show Medium. But I could be thinking of somebody else though in that. But this is Stigmata here on Blu-ray for the first time in HD. This is a horror film that came out back in the late 90s, I believe 1999, and it's pretty much about this one girl played by Patricia Arquette who all of a sudden starts experiencing stigmata. You know what I mean? She starts getting weird wounds on her wrists and different places, and she's getting slashed by some demon, or something's really going on with her out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And she's just really kind of freaked out, not knowing what's happening. All her friends and co-workers are kind of thinking she's trying to commit suicide, that she's kind of going crazy and out of her mind. But yet there's this priest that's an investigator that's also going around, trying to, debunk a lot of this kind of stuff. He's in this, Vatican somewhere, looking at this, it's like this big statue that's crying blood, and he thinks that's really real, that's really happening there, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. But yet he gets put on this case with this, Patricia Arquette's character to try to figure out what's happening with her. I've always found this movie really super interesting to me. When I first watched it back in the day, it scared the hell out of me. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, when it comes to priests and, all that kind of stuff, The Exorcist, when they have to come in and do things, that kind of stuff, when demon possession, that stuff always freaks me out really, really bad. This movie right here, it is cool. It doesn't live up to the awesomeness as it was when you first watch it, obviously, but I think it still holds up to this day. And on this Blu-ray here, you get audio commentaries and pretty much all the same special features that you got on the original MGM release on the DVD, ported on over to this one. And I think there was like one new one on here talking about like, you know, real Stigmata cases and things like that, which was kind of interesting on here. So if you're a fan of Stigmata and you want to see it on Blu-ray, it looks nice on Blu-ray, but that's Stigmata here on Blu-ray. And next up over here is a film I just watched today. This is from Paramount, and I was really excited to check this one out because I didn't get to see it in theaters. And that is Project Almanac here on Blu-ray. It's pretty much about these a group of young kids. They're like, you know, some of them are really smart. You know what I mean? They want to go to college. They're in high school. You know what I mean? They're trying to get like a scholarship to go to college and things like that. But yet this one boy, you know, finds out that his dad that passed away years ago created this, you know, blueprint for this time machine, and it's him and his friends trying to figure out how they're going to put this together and actually make a time machine. And they end up figuring out how to do so, and you know, how to jump time and how to go back in time to like win the lottery, to go back in time to maybe save his father from dying back in the day. It was a real fun teen flick here. I really did enjoy it more than I thought I was going to. You know, to be completely honest, you know, like if you guys love time travel kind of movies, this was awesome. It's kind of like found footage, sort of. Kind of has that, you know, what's that one movie called again? Chronicle kind of feel to it, the way they shot it. I don't know, I really did dig it very, very much. You know, it's not like a big time machine. You know what I mean? Like the DeLorean or like Bill and Ted's, you know, Excellent Adventure with the phone booth or anything like that. It's just like a little thing that can fit into a backpack, and you know, they can program it and they can shoot themselves, you know, back in time or forward in time. I thought this movie was killer, man. But on this Blu-ray here, you get some deleted scenes and 2 alternate endings and an alternate opening. Give this one a chance, guys, if you guys love fun, you know, time travel kind of movies with teenagers. I thought it was cool. Alright guys, and next up from Warner Brothers is Focus here on Blu-ray starring Will Smith. I really wanted to see this one because I'm a big fan of Will ever since like the MIB movies and Independence Day and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and stuff like that, so I had to check this one out. In this movie, Will Smith plays this like really big con man. He knows how to like, you know, pickpocket people without them knowing, steal people's credit cards, and you know, just to make all this cheddar, until at the beginning of this movie, he meets this one beautiful girl in this hotel, but yet this one girl is trying to con him and like rip him off somehow, but yet she doesn't know that he's one of the biggest con men, you know, in the world, and it's pretty much him, you know, taking her on and bringing her into his, you know, his big con group that he has that go around the town and rip people off for money, and it's him showing her the ropes on how to actually do it correctly without being caught and stuff like that. I found this movie to be really kind of entertaining. At least the first half of this movie was really strong to me. But like the last hour of the film just kind of lost its focus. Hence the title of the movie here, because like the first half of the movie is really cool. Like, you know, you're seeing how the people are pickpocketing people without them knowing by tapping their sides and things like that, and like doing all this crazy fun, you know, con artist kind of stuff was really entertaining. And then the second half, man, I just sort of like I sort of started falling asleep to it. But I thought Will Smith did a very good job in this movie, and what's her name, Margot Robbie, the other star of the film, she was actually really cool. I don't know if I saw her in any other movies before, but on this movie, on this special features here, you get, of course, behind the scenes, you know, interviews with the cast, but it was just very, very entertaining, at least the first hour of the movie. So give it a chance if you guys see it out there. I liked it. Alright guys, and next up over here is Jupiter Ascending here on Blu-ray, starring Channing Tatum and Mila Kunis here on Blu-ray. In this movie, Mila Kunis plays this, you know, everyday girl on Earth, just doing her day-to-day job, waking up, making coffee for her mom and cousin, and going to work, scrubbing toilets. I think she's like a maid, you know, in this movie, and she's just really kind of, you know, just sick of her day-to-day life that she's going through. But then one day, these weird alien creatures are coming after her, and she's like, what the hell's going on? But she, you know, she doesn't know that she has a bounty on her head, and there's things out there that want her dead. And of course, there's Channing Tatum's character, who's like a bounty hunter that's kind of out there to try to save her her, and is her coming to find out that she's like a heiress or a queen of a land that, you know, she never knew. And that's pretty much a synopsis on the movie without, you know, ruining anything else for you. I thought the look of this movie was pretty nice. It had some wonky kind of special effects in some parts of the movie. It was made by the Wachowskis, the people that made like the Matrix movies and stuff like that, so it kind of has that feel and vibe to it. It just kind of, I don't know, it wasn't a super amazing, but I wasn't disappointed in it either. You know what I mean? I thought Mila Kunis did a very decent job in this one. It was kind of funny to see Channing Tatum in here with like eyeliner and like weird, you know, facial hair. But on this Blu-ray here, you get interviews with the Wachowskis and Mila Kunis and the cast and crew talking about their experience on the movie. I thought it looked pretty nice on Blu-ray, to be honest, and I don't know, man, just some of the acting was kind of cool. Like one of the bad guys, the way he was talking, how he wants to rule the world and, you know, harvest the earth, you know, like all that kind of stuff. I kind of like this. But that's Jupiter Ascending here on Blu-ray.
Hi, it's me again, just stopping by real quick. I just have one thing to show you. And you know me and my television series and my crime stories and stuff that I like. Well, this one I really like, and I continue to like. This is Major Crimes, the 3rd season. And the show is pretty much about this team of investigators that work for the Los Angeles Police Department and what they do on a daily basis, you know, solving murders, that type of thing. And it stars, you know, Mary McDonnell and the rest of the cast. And number one, I love all the different characters. They're standard characters in it. They are all very different. They have their own nuances. And so I love each and every one of them, even from the smallest to the largest. And this particular season has 19 episodes, and I missed season 2, but I think I sort of, just from watching this so far, I think I'm like almost on the last episode-ish. I can almost guess, you know, what happened in season 2, so it's not a problem. And it also has special features. It has deleted scenes, and the thing I love the most on anything that I watch, the gag reel. Can't wait to see that. I always do that last because you never know. It might give away part of the story if you're watching it. So if you like crime stories and a little bit of comedy, I'd pick this up. Alright, thanks for stopping by. See you later.
Alright guys, next up from Paramount is a film I was really looking forward to checking out because I loved the original one, and that is Hot Tub Time Machine 2 here on Blu-ray. This film takes place a little bit after the first one. The guys from the movie are now living the life. They're rich, they're famous, they're doing their thing. But at the beginning of this film, one of the guys, you know, gets shot in his private area, and he's about to die. And these guys are like, what are we gonna do? He's gonna die. So they end up taking him to the hot tub time machine again to take him back to the past to try to see who shot him and who wanted him dead, so they can stop that from happening, and you know, so they can just keep living their lives. And that's pretty much the synopsis of this movie. But I was really looking forward to this one, guys. It just kind of felt really rushed, in my opinion. You don't get John Cusack in here like you did in the first one, you know, all throughout the movie. He was like one of the main parts of the hot tub time machine that I really liked from the first one. But this movie just seemed really, you know, just slapped together. I don't even know if they had a real big script for it. It felt like a lot of the movie was like a lot of improv, which could be funny some moments, but if you don't have if it's not in a controlled environment, it just turns out like this. Like a couple of funny moments in here, but definitely not as cool as the original one. But on this Blu-ray here, you get the theatrical version and the unrated version, which is like a 4-minute, 5-minute difference. And of course, you get some outtakes on here. But I just really wasn't pleased with this one, guys. But that's Hot Tub Time Machine 2 here on Blu. And next up from Disney is a film I didn't really know anything about when I got it. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a chance because I like Kevin Costner. And it's called McFarland USA here on Blu-ray. It's based on a true story about this one high school football coach at the beginning of the film gets fired from his job and forced to go to McFarland USA at this school in the middle of kind of nowhere that's right next to a prison to teach football there. He doesn't really want to live there, but he has to keep a roof, you know, over his family's head and food in their mouths and things. So he's there to try to teach these kids how to play football, but he soon finds out that the kids there are really good at running. They can run really long distances really, really fast. So he decides to get a group of these guys together and start a running team to maybe help them win a medal But yet these kids that are at this school, they're not like any ordinary kids that you can see when you go to school. These kids wake up like, at the crack of dawn to go work in the fields with their parents to pick fruit, do whatever they have to do to help keep food on the table for their families. And then they have to go to school, then they have to go home and do homework. It's like all this crazy stuff that they have to do. It was just really kind of inspiring just watching this movie, and it's based on a true story. And on the special features here, you get the real man and the real people that inspired this film, talking about their lives and how it turned into a film and things. And I found that to be really interesting. And if you guys love those true story kind of movies based on a true story kind of thing, give this one a chance, guys. But next up over here from Arrow Releasing, very excited to talk about this one here. Haven't seen this one in many years, and it's from Brian Usna. He also worked on Reanimator movies with Stuart Gordon, and this is his film called Society here on Blu-ray. This comes in really cool packaging, kind of like Criterion does, with like a cool little booklet. It comes with a DVD and a Blu-ray inside here. If you guys don't know this movie, it's pretty much about this guy named Billy. He lives in the high society life in Beverly Hills. Like his parents are like ougie bougie, so is his sister. But yet, he never really fits in with them. They're kind of in their own little world, and he's kind of just like a regular dude going, I want to go and party, I want to go hang out with my friends and, do all this stuff. But yet, his family and his family's friends just seem a little bit kind of strange. But one day, one of Billy's friends, comes up to him and plays him this cassette tape. And what he hears on this tape is some crazy stuff that his family and his dad and his mom and sister are doing with each other and to each other. And it just makes him go, wait a minute. What the hell is going on? And it's pretty much him trying to uncover what his family and what this high society, people in his life are all about. And you have to watch the movie to find out, but it gets really kind of disgusting and weird at the last half of this movie. But it's just an amazing 80s horror flick. But I really did enjoy this film. You also get a new 2K restoration of the movie on here. But on here you get new interviews with Brian Usna, the director, some of the cast members talking about the film, some old interviews on the set of the film, and very, very interesting stuff on here. You get like a slew of special features on the back here. I can't name them all off now, but if you're a fan of Society, man, give this one a look, man. This has like a really cool case. Look at that, man. This is all the ooey gooey stuff. But if you're a fan, I just want to let you guys all know that the 2-disc Blu-ray is out now. Great looking Blu-ray here. And next up from Arrow Releasing also is a film that I've never seen before until I got this Blu-ray, and it stars Udo Kier, and it's called The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Miss Osborne here on Blu-ray. It's just like a modern retelling of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, kind of thing. This couple that's just got engaged or gotten married or whatever, and they're having friends over, having a little party, but yet outside of their house, there's these murders going on, and they don't know what's going on. They want to stay in their house so they don't get, murdered themselves, but yet they don't know that the murderer might already be in their house. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And that's pretty much all I can really say about the movie. It really does have a nice little vibe to it. It's dubbed in English. I believe it's like a French film or something. A French film dubbed in English, so it's kind of off a little bit. We see them talking, but it was enjoyable nonetheless. And this one's also restored in 2K here. But if you guys love Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of story, give this one a chance, man. It has some real decent gore and some cool little special effects in here from the time. But that's the movie here on Blu. Alright guys, and next up from Arrow Releasing also is Island of Death here on Blu-ray with an all-new 2K restoration. And when it comes to this movie and the last two I talked about, they're all region free. You can play them in any player with these Arrow releases here, just to let you know. But with this movie, it's pretty much about this young couple going on vacation to a Greek island just to get away and have fun. But yet, they're sex fiends. That's all they like to do is have sex and murder people. And they're on this Greek island, and they're on there, and every person they see, they think are sinners. They don't like sinners, but yet they're sinners themselves. But yet everyone they see, they have sex with, and then they kill them. And there's this one morning that they both wake up in bed together. The husband, wants to get a little nookie from his wife, but yeah, she's not in the mood for it. She's still kind of tired. So he goes outside, and he's just going, oh man, this is horrible. What am I going to do? And he sees this goat walking around and he decides to have sex with the goat, and then kill the goat. And then him and his wife have sex, and then they go around and see people. They don't like them, but they have sex with them, and then they kill them. That's all the movie really is. That's all I can really say about this movie. It's just, it feels like a real softcore porn movie, you know? Like, I don't know, I really couldn't get into the vibe of this one. It just felt kind of sleazy. I think the cover is amazing, but I just really couldn't get into this one whatsoever. Island of Death here on Blu-ray. But next up over here, guys, from Vinegar Syndrome is a film I'm very, very excited to have here on Blu-ray. Been a fan of it for years, and it's called Madman here on Blu-ray. It's pretty much based on a Cropsey legend, a famous, you know, campfire tale that, you know, people would tell around campfires about this, you know, one guy that killed his family and now roams in the woods, and if you say his name, he'll come and get you too, you know, Madman Maz. You know, if you say his name in the woods, he'll come and get you, you know, kind of thing. And it's pretty much about a group of, you know, 20-somethings, teenagers, whatever, in the woods getting picked off one by one in their crazy, you know, slasher fashion. But the main reason I wanted to get this Blu-ray is, one, to get the movie in the best possible picture quality you can possibly get. I believe this has like a new 2K transfer or something like that. It looks beautiful here on Blu-ray. It was released twice before. Once on Anchor Bay DVD, and then another one, I think it was like Code Red or some other weird one that a lot of people had complaints about because they had a weird, blue tint to the film. But I gotta let you guys all know this one is the correct, aspect ratio, the correct colorization and stuff. I think it's approved by the director or something like that. It looks very, very nice on Blu-ray, even though it still has some film grain in it because it was shot on, low budget film stock, but it looks better than I've ever seen it look before. Has a bunch of special features on here. Like you get new interviews with Paul Ehlers, the madman himself, and the cast and crew. There's a new 90-minute documentary that's on this Blu-ray here that features the cast and crew talking about the making of the movie, and even them going to the old sets, like where they shot the movie over 35 years ago, talking about their experiences there. And you get interviews in here too with fans of the film, like people that collect, the Madman memorabilia, like posters and Madman heads and all this crazy stuff. And the cool thing is, you get my friends in here, the Dead Pit guys from Dead Pit Radio, in here with some interviews that they did for this documentary and interviews that they did at different horror conventions up on this Blu-ray disc here also. So if you're a fan of the Madman movie, you guys got to get this Blu-ray here, man. It has just like hours of like special features on here. Great release here from Vinegar Syndrome. Alright guys, and next up from Synapse Films is a movie I've never seen before, but I was really interested in checking it out, and it's called Samurai Avenger, The Blind Wolf here on Blu-ray. This movie was absolutely badass, man. If you guys are into like, kung fu samurai kind of movies, give this one a chance, man. It's absolutely amazing. It's pretty much about this one guy at the beginning of this movie. His daughter gets killed, his wife gets killed right in front of him, and he's forced to jab his eyes out of his own head, so he can't see anymore. But then later on, a few years later, he learns a couple of, techniques from this monk and goes on the revenge to take out the guy that killed his wife and daughter. And it's pretty much the adventure of him along the way, taking out all these different assassins that are in his way as he's trying to find the big bad guy that actually killed his family. This movie was badass, man. If you guys are into real gory, kind of movies when someone like pokes stuff in their own eye, you can like see the eye come out, kind of thing, and like people getting stabbed and killing themselves. Really fun, over the top kind of, samurai kind of flick. I loved it immensely. On this Blu-ray here, you also get a 90-minute making of the film, really in-depth kind of stuff, just like the Madman was. Really in-depth, cool stuff, especially if you're a fan of the film. I've never seen before until I got this Blu-ray, but man, I was blown away by the movie, by the picture quality and everything about this one. It's called Samurai Avenger, The Blind Wolf. Absolutely killer, man. And next up over here from Freestyle Entertainment, and that is Zombievers here on Blu-ray. A lot of you guys have been asking me in comments for the last couple of weeks, Brendan, are you going to talk about this one? Are you going to get this one? Bam! I have it right here, baby. This movie is pretty much about these three, college students that are friends going on this vacation to this cabin in the middle of nowhere, like you usually do in these horror movies. And when they get there, it's this house, this little cabin is by a little lake, and these girls are just there to have fun, but they don't know, earlier that day that there was this toxic waste truck, you know, driving by with these two guys, one of them played by John Mayer, the music artist, and you know, carrying this toxic waste, and one of the barrels falls off and goes into their lake, and you know, infects these weird beavers, you know, that are at their lake, and turns them rabid, zombie, you know, crazy kind of beavers out on the attack. And then, you know, of course, them are getting, you know, picked off one by one, you know, in a weird horror fashion. But I found this movie to be really kind of fun. You know what I mean? It's not amazing, not mind-blowing, but it's kind of like, you know, like the Piranha remake. You know, it's that kind of style of movie, like wacky, over-the-top horror comedy, you know, kind of thing where like people getting their wee-wees, you know, bitten off, and gratuitous nudity. Really, really kind of fun. Like the beavers, like when you see them in the movie, they kind of look like, you know, the beavers that you would see in Caddyshack, but it's all zombied up, like, you know, crazy beavers. Not nice little happy beavers, but, you know, crazy ones that are going to come and kill you. But I thought the special effects in the movie, like the blood effects, the gore effects, were pretty decent, especially towards the end of the film, when everything, you know, like really takes a turn and everything starts turning to shit for everyone in the movie. It looked really kind of cool. I know some people are gonna like question it, but for a movie like this, it's like, what else do you expect? But get this one, man. You can get it at Best Buy, the Blu-ray exclusive right now for like $9.99. Who would ever thought there would ever be a movie called Zombeavers? Come on now. But I liked that one. It was fun. Stupid, but fun, you know? But next up over here from Anchor Bay, this one was directed by Courtney Cox and stars Sean William Scott, and it's called Just Before I Go here on Blu-ray. And at the beginning of this movie, Sean William Scott's just kind of sick of his life. He wants to commit suicide. But before he does so, he wants to go back to his hometown and, you know, and confront the people that made him feel the way that he's feeling about himself now. Like his old teacher that always gave him shit when he was in school, his old bully. Like he wants to go back there and, you know, just try to right the wrongs, or just like kick their asses or something, you know what I mean? And he does so, and he comes across this one girl, and they become friends there, and she's like documenting him on his journey to kill himself and what he's going to do before he does so. And that's pretty much the movie without, you know, saying anything else about it. I found it to be kind of charming a little bit. I thought it was nicely directed by Courtney Cox. I don't know if she's ever really directed a film before, to be honest. And of course, you get David Arquette in there in like a weird kind of role, like playing like an ex-boyfriend of somebody. But like, I always liked Sean William Scott in flicks. I don't know why he hasn't done more. You know what I mean? Since like American Pie, Bulletproof Monk, and you know, like all this other stuff that he's done. I think he's a solid actor, especially for kind of movies like this. I don't know, man. I really liked it, and I liked the message that the film had at the end of it. So if you've ever seen it before, you know, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it looks beautiful on Blu-ray. You get the only special feature you get is an audio commentary by Courtney Cox herself talking about the movie. But if it sounds interesting to you, give it a chance, guys. It wasn't that bad. I liked it. Alright guys, and next up over here is Monsters Dark Continent here on Blu-ray. This is the sequel to the film that came out back in 2010, directed by Gareth Edwards, I believe his name was, which was a film that was really kind of interesting because it was shot on a very low budget, kind of guerrilla style. You know what I mean? Like a guy, you know, did it himself, shot it, you know, edited it on his own computer, made his special effects on his own computer, and everything. It was like really kind of interesting the way the first movie was made and constructed. But this one seems like it has a studio backing, it has all this money thrown into it, but it doesn't have the charm as the first Monsters movie did, to be honest. You know, like it has really forgettable characters. You don't really care about any of them. It's pretty much about a group of military guys, you know, going into like, what was it, Iraq or Egypt or something like that, and you know, to try to take out these monsters that are, you know, slowly coming all over the world. Because in the first movie they were in Mexico, and now these monster creature things with tentacles and stuff are kind of, you know, branching out. They're kind of going all over the world now, and it's kind of like a big global mess that they're going through. And that's pretty much the synopsis of the movie, because there's not really much going on in it. There's more monster effects and cool things happening in the first one than there is in this one. Like the cover here looks kind of cool with people running, you know, from the monsters and things, but the monsters are really like a side character that you just see off in the distance, you know, for the most part of the movie. And I don't know, man, it just kind of felt lackluster to me, and I didn't really get into this one as much as I liked the first one. It looks beautiful on Blu-ray, but like I said, really forgettable characters. So that's Dark Continent Monsters here on Blu-ray. And next up over here is a film I wanted to see from Sony, and it's called Rec 4 Apocalypse here on DVD. This is kind of like a direct sequel to Rec 2 with little touches of Rec 3 in it. It's pretty much about this one girl named Angela. At the beginning of this film, she gets pulled, from this one building that's sort of infected, by this virus that's taken over everyone, turning people into, rabid kind of zombie kind of people, infected people. And she gets put onto this boat, and she's getting like, poked and prodded because they think she might have a virus in her and stuff like that. And there's other people that are on there also having that same problem. And but yet she doesn't know that she's on a boat, and all these other people don't know that they're on this boat in the middle of the sea, and they can't escape. But yet, there's these doctors on this boat trying to figure out, how to contain, this virus that's happened, that's breaking out all over the world now, and they're there trying to figure that out, but they don't know that the virus is actually on the ship with them, and everyone on the ship is doomed, baby. And that's pretty much what happens in this movie. I don't think this movie was as strong as the first two Rec movies. Of course, it's in Spanish, you're gonna have to read subtitles. But the third Rec movie, when it had to deal with the waiting, which they touch on a little bit in this one, or they talk about it a little bit, kind of, fell off a little bit. And this one wasn't as good as number 3 either. But the first two Rec movies are the strong ones in the franchise. If you're a fan of the Rec movies, give this one a chance. It has some decent special effects and some decent acting in there, but it just wasn't as cool as the first two in the franchise. Sorry guys, I had to change the cameras here. My battery died in my last one, so my battery's charging now. But next up over here from Cinedime is a film I just really wanted to see because the main actor in it, loved him for years, ever since Batman, the original one, Beetlejuice, Multiplicity, and that is Michael Keaton in Blindsided here on DVD. This movie is pretty much about this one young lady. She's a war photographer. Her name is Sarah. She works in the, during the war, like taking pictures of, people shooting off their guns and killing people, just like what it looks like in war. Until she gets, blindsided by this bomb that makes her lose her eyesight. At the beginning of this film, and then the film flashes forward a couple of years. She's living with her boyfriend now, just trying to live her life and start anew without her eyesight and things. But yet she doesn't know her boyfriend is into some weird, into some shady shit, and he gets killed. And now these two crazy guys are after her for what the boyfriend has and what they want. And it's pretty much her, just trying to figure out how to stay alive in the situation that she's in. And Michael Keaton is one of these goons that's after her for, what her boyfriend has. I found this movie to be really kind of entertaining. A really cool, fun thriller flick. I didn't know if I was going to like it as much as I did, and it was really cool. I'm surprised that there's not a Blu-ray release of this. Man, this movie was cool. Michael Keaton always knocks it out of the park in his roles here. It's not as cool as like a Batman or a Beetlejuice or anything like that, but the movie was decent. I really did dig this one. Alright guys, next up from Lionsgate, oh my god. It's a film called American Bad Boy here on DVD, starring Cat Williams. That tells you something right there. It's pretty much about this young up-and-coming rap star who's trying to make his first album, borrows money from Cat Williams' character, who is a guy that runs this, male strip club. He's kind of like a badass, kind of like the gangster of the town, and he owes, Cat Williams all this money, to do so. So he has to like dance and strip at the strip club to try to, pay back his debt to Cat Williams, and it's pretty much a synopsis of the movie. And the guy, the rap artist, father is like the preacher of the town. He just gets in a real big situation. This movie was bad. This movie was horrible. This movie, it was just like, it felt like some of the actors in the movie were like reading off cue cards, off screen, like you see their eyes, moving like they're reading something, a couple of times in this one. But if you like, strip club kind of movies where like dudes are dancing and they, shaking their junk around, you'll probably dig this one. But I hated it. Oh my god, I hated it. Alright guys, and this next movie up here is quite possibly the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's from the After Dark Horror Fest line, and it's called Asylum here on DVD. It's pretty much about this, what's called hostage negotiator that gets called into this insane asylum, that's being overrun by these crazy nut people, and what he experiences going into this insane asylum. But it's also a movie, at the beginning of this movie, it says, the footage you're about to see is about, it doesn't even matter. This movie was horrible. I couldn't get into it. It's kind of like a movie that's never been finished, that's also like dubbed over, kind of like, Mystery Science Theater 3000 because I don't even know how to explain this movie. It was just horrible. I couldn't sit. I watched like half hour of it, turned it off. I just couldn't stand it. The acting, just the whole way everything was put together, it didn't feel like anybody knew what they were doing in this movie, you know, in this thing at all. You know what I mean? Because it cuts to these two random guys watching this movie happen and just commenting over the movie the whole entire time, going, well, this acting sucks, this writing sucks, this movie is just horrible. No, the whole thing is horrible. What you're doing is horrible, the whole movie is horrible. But that's Asylum. I couldn't stand it. Oh my god, I'm done talking about it. I'm done even thinking about that movie the rest of my life. Alright guys, and next up from Alchemy is Comeback Dad here on DVD, starring Loretta Devine, Charles Dutton, and Tatiana Ali, who you guys all know from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. In this movie, Charles Dutton plays this father who's kind of a drunk. He kind of left his family because he's kind of didn't know where his life was going and kind of ran out on his daughter when she was young. But now that he's older and he's trying to, like, you know, not drink anymore, he's trying to reconnect with her. But now she doesn't want that. She's kind of done. She doesn't even want to think about her father anymore. And it's pretty much Charles Dutton's character just really trying to, you know, reconnect with her again after all these years. And I don't know, I found this movie to be really, you know, heartfelt and touching. I cried a little bit to it, to be honest. I really like the acting in here. Charles Dutton is always good in pretty much everything I've seen him in, especially Nick of Time and the show that he had called Rock back in the day. Really decent performances in here, decently written. It's one of those straight-to-DVD kind of titles, but I dug it. It was actually a lovely kind of movie. And last up for my update today, and this one's from Olive Films, and it's called Heart of America here on DVD. This is like based on the Columbine shootings. You know, like what happened when kids get bullied in school and stuff. It follows these two kids that get, you know, picked on by bullies at school, and then, you know, go out and get guns and want to go into the school with guns and take out the people that treated them like crap in school. I found the performances in this movie to be really decent. It was directed by, what's his name again? Uwe Boll, which he never really directs a lot of great movies these days, but this one was actually really decent. I like the acting. I like the atmosphere of the film. It didn't blow me away or anything like that, but it was really kind of cool. It's kind of like, you know, it does the same kind of thing the movie Elephant did that came out years ago, but not as good. You know what I mean? It's kind of that, you know, it deals with the same subject matter. But that's Heart of America here on DVD. Alright guys, that's all I have to talk to you guys about today for this update. But let's get on to the unboxing here and show you guys what I got from Amazon, baby. Alright guys, time to unbox here what I got from Amazon.com, baby. Are you ready for it? My mom's behind the camera right now, so let's do it. I already kind of pre-cut this box right here, so it doesn't take me forever to open it. So let's crack into it. Bubble. Ugh. Sounds like a juicy one. And what I got from Amazon here is The Burning here on Blu-ray, which I really wanted to get ever since it came out. I don't think I've ever seen it before, to be honest. And it stars like Jason Alexander and stuff like that from Seinfeld. It's a cool like backwoods slasher film. I don't know, I love Shout Factory's releases, and I had to get this one. It was like 19 bucks or something. It comes with a slipcase. I was happy it did. And the other thing is, I got here that I really wanted so bad, and it's what's it called? Games and Sports. The like random episodes of all the cool Nickelodeon shows that came out back in the day, like Guts and Figure It Out, Family Double Dare, Sloppy Double Dare, Arcade, you know, which you know, stars my man Phil Moore. Shout out to Phil Moore. He might be bringing the show back, baby. And of course, Legends of the Hidden Temple. Like, you know, a couple like random episodes, random collection here. Had to get it. Love 90s Nickelodeon game shows, 80s Nickelodeon stuff. Great stuff here. That's what I picked up. And there's also this one right here, which I've been waiting to unbubble. So let's get into this one. Oh yeah, bubble. Even though this is not bubble. All right, let's open this up here. I know what this one is. A lot of you guys are gonna be like, what? But like, I don't care. I wanted it. Put that down. White Tea here on DVD, man. I wanted to get this ever since it came out. The director or producer of the film, you know, gave me like a download link to see it, and I just wanted to, you know, support it and get it on DVD. It's like $7 on Amazon right now. It has the Mixon brothers, who you guys all know from what's it called? One of the Mixon brothers is in you know, Paul Blart Mall Cop, and the other one's like Hercules from you know, the Nutty Professor films. You know, those the big dudes. They're also in Me, Myself, and Irene. Really funny kind of movie. If you guys love those like straight to DVD kind of comedies, I dug it. It was like $7. So that's all I got from Amazon right here. The Burning on Blu-ray, Nickelodeon Game Show DVD, White Tea. Guys, if you like my videos, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.